masquerading or spoofing covers both deception and usurpation. So, these are two very I think well known terminologies in this field. So, spoofing, that means the things that I was telling, this is just a, I mean for modification also you can use that. You can tell that I am actually x when I am not x. Masquerade, you know, that means putting on a mask. So, that covers both deception and usurpation. Now, repudiation of origin is a form of deception. This means that, say for example, you have got some product from some buyer and you are telling and after receiving the product you find that it is defective or something or something. So, you will tell the buyer, I mean the shop from where you have bought it. Okay. So, then what happens is that if that particular shop, say online shop or something, we are talking about online shopping here. Okay. So, that online shop may tell that I do not think I have sent it, somebody else may have sent it. Okay. And this may happen, suppose that shop actually deals with say many brands. Okay. So, it can always say that no, I do not deal with this brand. So, some way or the other it is actually denying that it has sent that say bad product to you. Okay. So, that means that it is not accepting, it is telling you some false thing or something. So, it is a form of deception definitely, because I am not actually owing up to my misdoing, right. And the other I mean form sometimes also happens, that is, say for example, there is some clause written that after you get the product you can pay or something like that. Okay. So, there the customer can say that no, I have not received the product yet. Okay. That may also be another form, right. So, I mean I am just telling these as examples. Okay. Many a times so many things happen in the network. When you open a newspaper you find so many articles like this has happened, that has happened, and nowadays you always have many people opening up to their experiences, right. Earlier it was not like that. So, we did not even get to know that these say misdoings or malicious events were actually happening. So, denial of service, I have included here it as an example. We will be dealing with it in a very big way in our later part of the talk. Okay. And it is actually a form of usurpation, because whatever you want, the service will be denied. You will be denied, other users in the network, they will also be denied of their services. So, of course, it is usurpation. That means, the more or less you can say that the network has halted or kind of shut down sort of thing, then that is usurpation definitely. All of us know about the network that we are used to see in our labs and other things, right. But nowadays you have your data connections, isn't it? And there are wireless networks in your colleges also, I believe, maybe limited, but there are. Okay. So, that means this wireless and mobile networks are now actually part of the existing networks. And you see, we have pointed out two different terminologies, wireless and mobile, because for if you think about wireless networks only, then you know that there will be some wireless card, network card. So, it has got some say transmitter receiver sort of thing, there will be a transmission range and there will be, since it is wireless. So, as if there will be no physical wires hanging, and the other device which wishes to connect with that server or whatever device in the network, it also must have some wireless network card with no wires hanging, because the channel or the link is actually wireless, really wireless. Okay. So, they will connect, as we say, in the via the air medium, right. So, there will be different frequency ranges and etcetera, whatever. So, that part is wireless. Now, whenever your device becomes wireless, you can carry it around, right. That is why we generally put these two terminologies together, wireless and mobile. You can have wireless network with your fixed desktop also, no problem in that, not at all. But since it is wireless, you have the facility to carry it around. So, why not utilize the benefits of mobility? Okay. So, it is mobile networks also, and they come side by side. For being mobile, I mean, as I was telling that you can include the issue of mobility also in your wireless networks. Obviously, very I mean some very much problematic is the wireless network because of certain issues in the wireless connection system itself. I mean the wireless networking basics, but nowadays the technology has improved so much. So, many of those issues have already been taken up and they are dealt with. And with respect to mobility, again there are certain issues. For example, say if you are changing your location from this place to that place to that place, and maybe you are staying for 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, your connection points to the existing network in that location is changing. At first you were say in this seminar hall, then you are moving to your hostel. So, of course, these points are different, right. So, where to find you, how to find you, that is one of the very, very important questions in the mobile network. Okay. And of course, you have heard about, you know about IP, right, TCP IP you know. So, TCP gives you some connection, some numbers, right. So, that is considered to be fixed, is not it? So, how will you achieve that if you are moving, right. So, something has to be done over there, as well as it has to be reflected in the network layer in the IP. So, you get mobile IP, you had IPv4 version 4, IP version 6, right. So, these are all changing because they are trying to accommodate these different issues of mobility. And one of the issues of mobility is definitely security, because you are attaching to different network points. So, how do you know, or that network also knows that both are safe, they can carry work together, right. So, the issues in the wireless and mobile networking environment is something very different. First of all, easily compromised. Why? Because you can connect from anywhere, as if it seems, because the wireless medium is there. So, if you are getting signals, right, and the signal strength is fine, the other, I mean on the other side some network is already there, whose signal you are getting, you can easily connect. Okay. So, that means, if you really want some security to be had in your network, then both sides must accomplish some particular things before joining the network. And if you do not have that, then you get compromised. I mean, there is chance. I am not telling that each and every device that connects to some wireless network will be will connect with the intention of, say, doing something wrong in the network, not like that, but there is high probability that it will be compromised. Another thing is the privacy issues, okay? Because you can I mean, privacy issues in the sense that when you say connect to some friend, okay, I mean, or to your home, connect in the sense that I am simply talking about, say, you are making a call from your mobile phone to somebody, either home line or mobile. Okay. Since that call is getting through, that means both the ends have some information about the others. Maybe that information is not shown. I mean, it is not shown on your device that you are where, I mean, your mother cannot see where you are talking from, right. So, that is not any problem, we all appreciate that. Okay. I am a mother too, so no problem in that. But the thing is that in times of difficulties, you may have to know the location. Okay. So, but not always, because if the location is carried in the network along with the message, then that may be viewed by anybody in the network. So, privacy has to be maintained. The information is there, but it is, say, masked, okay, so that it cannot be seen. Okay. So, privacy issues come into play always, because otherwise how we will be tracked? You are changing your location, I am also changing my location. So, how can we be tracked and our messages can reach us? So, of course, the location plays a very, very important part, but it cannot be revealed always because of these privacy issues. And if you do not, I mean, take actions or have some safeguard against these things, then of course, breach of security will happen. That means, there will be some security attacks, the threats which were there, they now will be real, and so on. So, first thing that we can talk about, as you can see in the name itself, it is Lewisons attack. What does that mean? That means that we are so very, say, afraid that my thing will be seen by all, I do not want everybody to know my information, and etcetera and etcetera. So, we spend all the resources, whatever we have, in order to thwart an attack. But of course, you cannot simply, I mean, tell an attack it is coming or something. That means, you have to learn, you have to visualize, you have to go through step by step. That means, what can happen if this attack occurs? Suppose disclosure, there are so many forms of disclosure, which one will you look, right? In the sense, disclosure in its purest form actually does not do anything, because it simply snoops. I mean, disclosure in the form of snooping I am meaning. Okay? It simply listens that A is sending something to B, but if I am malicious, then I can really get hold of many information from that. And in order to have safeguard against all these things, what I have to do? I have to then make my information confidential, that means encrypt it at this end so that it can be decrypted and etcetera. This is just simple one step. There may be several such steps that I have to take, and not only for this single information, for all the communication that I am having. Okay. So, that means you have to first discover the attack. Discover the attack, you again expand it. That means, you have to identify the threat, the threshold level, when you will call it to be an attack, right. That is also very important, and that means you have to see the activities in the network. How do you know that this is going to happen? Okay. So, that means you may have some perception about the normal level of say happenings in the network, right. Whenever that becomes abnormal, you can say that yes, something is there. So, you have to continuously monitor the network therefore. So, that requires resource. So, you have to discover the attack in such and such ways, and then you have to think about plans. How will you be against it? How will you mitigate it, overcome it, right? Maybe you have the plan that if this happens, that action will be taken, but that action in itself is also very, I mean, maybe resourceful action. It requires that, it requires such and such thing and etcetera. So, that means that we are as if spending all our time, energy, money, that means in terms of these for thwarting the attack. So, this itself now becomes as if an attack, because as if we are doing for nothing. This may not happen say in my lifetime, of that application I mean. Okay. Suppose the application will run for 1 hour, right, and I am expending all my belongings to it. Apart from the cost involved in developing that application, deploying that application and so on. So, it itself as if becomes a nuisance attack, because they disrupt the activities of the legitimate users. Because what I will do then? I will have to then encrypt, say the first step, encrypt my information. So, before encrypting again there are some steps, right. So, you have to go through those steps. So, in this way you will see that without doing the normal activity, you are spending much more time in these nuisance activities. This disruption will cause several unnecessary resource exhaustion, of course, because we are talking about wireless and mobile networks. So, generally we have mobile devices, portable devices like laptops, our smart devices. So, they do not have much resources, I mean with respect to our networked devices. Okay. So, exhaustion in an already resource constrained system, not only in terms of space, also in terms of say energy, because your laptops, your devices are running on battery, is not it. So, that means they have to be connected to some power source for charging up the battery, okay. And if you put so much, I mean extra work on them, battery will be drained very easily, is not it. I think all of you have experiences in that, right. So, energy consumption, time, money and every other things with respect to the resource, I mean the guarding of a resource will be enormously high, which we do not want for say an 1 hour application lifetime. But sometimes you may require that because of that application's nature. The application say may be such that it really requires such types of safeguards, then you definitely have to give all your resources to that, but that will make your application cost also higher. So, that is a different game altogether, okay. But not for every type of applications you require this. So, that is called nuisance attack. Then some other types of attacks. Impersonation attack, we have talked about this so many times, because this is a very common attack. Attacker may impersonate a legitimate entity, okay, and if possible the server also. So, that means depending on the attacker, the resource of the attacker, resource in the sense all types of resources, okay, it may impersonate a server also. That means, the server may be attacked too, though many a times we think that we have safeguarded the server in so many different ways. So, it will never be hacked or it will never be attacked or something like that, right, but this may not be the case. So, impersonation attack, that means I am in the disguise, I am telling that I am some entity x, whereas actually I am not x, okay. And if you are a friend of x, you will believe me to be x and communicate with me. Then comes interception attack. Now, interception attack and replay attack, they tend to do the same thing, but with a line of difference. Okay. Interception is somewhat, you can say, snooping, like snooping. The snooping was threat. Why? Because it was only listening. It was only simply seeing that information is going from this side to that side. What is interception? Interception means you are not only looking, you can also say get a copy of it. For example, I am telling it to be a copy. It can be that you are simply having it, keeping it with you for some time and then again giving it. So, that becomes replay. Why replay? Not giving it as you, but giving it as the original sender. That means telling that I am the original sender. This will be replay, but if it is plain interception attack, then it may be only the idea will be to delay, get the packet, hold it for some time and then release it. Do not change anything. Do not say that I am the original sender. I mean, you do not have to do those things. It is simply say for fun. I mean, it can be for fun also that okay, I am delaying your activity, like that. I mean, it may not be so harmful only if the application is not that important. I mean, time relevant application, because if it is health data, say for example, then time is very, very important for that. Okay. So, in that case it will be say some fatal misdeed. Okay. If somebody even intercepts it for fun without knowing that, without knowing the importance of the data, okay, that is a different case. But interception may simply be for disrupting the network activity. That means, since I am here, I can see what is going on, I simply keep it for some time, like that. I am not changing it, I am not doing anything on it. But when the attacker will not only intercept and store, but later impersonate also, both of these, that means impersonation plus interception becomes replay attack. So, that means we have to take guard against all this? We will again come back to these attacks after we learn something, okay? How to take guard. Maybe we can have some hint that we can do it in this way, we can do it in that way, like that. Okay? Another is parallel session attack. Attacker may begin communication with one party or two separate authentications with server and client. Parallel, you understand, that means at the same time it is talking with both the parties and it is posing to be, say, if the communication is between, suppose the communication is between x and y. Okay. So, there is somebody here A who will talk with x as if it is y and who will talk with y as if it is x. Okay. So, like this. I mean, this is one of the very simplest example.